Right, Remoska Day, but in fact this is for it can be used in the wok. It's ideal for the wok, of course, and it's Dad's my recipe for spare ribs and a black bean sauce. I'm using the Remoska Tria only because the Facebook page quite like this sort of thing, but the actual recipe below is done in woks. Anyway, so what have we got? Well, we've got black beans. There they are. That's what comes to the Chinese shop. These are salted black beans, so please put them in something like that and rinse them under the tap. And then what you do is you chop them like that. There's 3 tablespoons of that. And then here is 225 grams of sliced 225 grams of sliced onions. There's about 3 tablespoons of chopped spring onions. In here, I'll take this out. In here is 1.5 tablespoons, about 5 garlic pods chopped. And there's also about a tablespoon of chopped ginger, I reckon in inches, I reckon about 1.5 inches, and that's been chopped in there. And in here is 150 mils of Shioxin rice wine, Chinese rice wine. Dry sherry will do if you haven't got it, but I strongly suggest you buy the real thing. It's also got 150 ml of water. It's got a couple of tablespoons of dark soy sauce, a couple of teaspoons of light soy sauce, and there'd be sesame oil, which I need to add at the end, and then there's some salt, sugar as well, that needs to be added. I wouldn't go too much on the salt. You can taste it and add it later on, simply because the salted black beans, even though rinsed, will have some salt in it. Anyway, that's the basic recipe. And now I'm going to come over here, and here is the Remoska Tria. There's about 2 pounds of spare ribs, and the first thing to do is to brown them using utensils that will not scratch the pan. So the other thing is, I took this off while I did the video, so put in a few at a time and brown them. The reason is that if you put too many in, the oil doesn't fry them brown, it just simply stews them. So I'll put 2 or 3 in there just to get warm up and do that. I'm using stir-fry oil, but groundnut oil is what I've got. I'm just using this up because I need to finish it. But groundnut oil is what you should do for the recipe, which is that. Anyway, I'm just browning them all, which can take a little bit of time because there's 2 pounds of them. So I'm browning them in the rear. Splitting quite a bit. Anyway, you don't want to watch me watching them brown them all, so I'll brown them all. Right, that's done now. I wiped out the old oil. I'm going to start now with the black beans going. All very fast, this lot should be. Black beans, spring onions, ginger and garlic. Literally a very fast stir around. Flavour the oil, I suppose, is the answer to that. So give it a quick stir around. I've reduced the heat. That's that. Now all the onions. Right, And you stir fry that for about 10 minutes or so. As you can see, that smells wonderful. I've got the wife walking behind me. Doesn't it smell nice, Corey?
It smells very nice.
Yep.
Very, very nice.
So that's it going in there. Two minutes, 3 minutes. I like to get it a little bit well and truly mix it up, sticking. Smells beautiful. The ribs, of course, are browned slightly over there. Break up those onions, get them to cook a little bit. You know, this is the difference between, say, Indian food, Chinese food. The onions aren't fried as much in Chinese food as they are in Indian food. That's why when I do my curry things, I'm always pointing out to you all that that's the important thing, is to watch the onions in the Indian food. You want it nice and brown, the sauces, and that's the reason. Right, that's done. Now, here's the liquid drinks, or all the fluids, the rice wine, the water, the soy sauce. That's all put in there like that. I can bring that up to heat a bit. I might just add a shade of water, just a dribble, just to get the little bits in the bottom. Yeah, just a dribble, just get the last bits out. Now I need some salt. So sugar. So about a teaspoon of sugar. That's it. Because one of the things is I shouldn't have held this above the pot, because you know what's going to happen. You do it like that, and all of a sudden you slip. The next minute you got a pound of sugar in your food, and that's the end of it. So anyway, so that's done. Let's bring this round to the boil. Shouldn't take long. It's already warming up. Or cook. So the plan is I'm going to bring it up to that temperature. And then I'm going to put the lid on it. Obviously not the oven lid. I'm going to use the ordinary lid. And I'm going to do the ordinary lid here. I'm going to do a Bœuf Bourguignon in the tray using the other lid on a slower cook. And see if that makes any difference. The Bœuf Bourguignon should be nice in the pressure cook lid. Right, so just bring that up to temperature. Up to the boil, which is what it's done now. It's up to the boil. And now what I'm going to do is add these. Get it all immersed in it. They're all wet. They're all soaked. There we go. Let's give them a bit of stir around if I can. Right, now let's put it all in there. Looks lovely. This, I don't know if you can smell it, but it is superb. Got a lovely smell of the onions, and particularly the oh, what's the word for it? The soy sauces and this rice wine, the garlic, and it's all in there. Right, so that's going to go on it now. Put the lid on. And that should be it for 45 minutes. It should all be cooked, but every sort of 20 minutes or so, I'll just, so halfway, I'll just turn around and make sure it's all spread around it. Right, I'm going to use a wok after this to do stir-fried vegetables with some noodles, which I'll do very quickly and shove it on the end, just a sense of completeness. Right. You'll notice now that the ribs are done. Well, it would be cooked. It's been about 40 minutes. But what I'm going to do now, I've taken the lid off, and I'm going to continue simmering it to reduce the sauce, so it'll get more intense. So I'm going to leave it like that now, and then reduce the sauce. It's all cooked and ready to eat. I hope the picture does it justice. Okay, this is the stir-fried vegetables to go with the Remoska beans, spare ribs and black bean sauce. Right, in there is beans, sweet corn, broccoli, and mushrooms, peppers, spring onion, the ready to noodle to wok stuff, which I've cut into 4 to make it smaller rather than long ones, and bean sprouts, and some asparagus that I'm first trying to think of that's in there as well. And it's the order in which you fry it that's important. And I'm not going to spend too long on this since it's not too difficult. Got the oil on hot, and I'm now going to throw in the thicker vegetables. It's too hot with all, but anyway. Turn down the oil a little bit now. And of course, being electric, it takes the time. Give that a few minutes to start. It's very important to get the timing right of the vegetables, otherwise you'll have soft. If you put everything in now, the small things like the mushrooms sort of vanished, and the spring onions have gone soggy, and so on. So it's a much better way of doing it. Give that a head start. The next thing I'm going to put in is the next hardest, which are different colour peppers. Look how pretty that looks. I chose this because of the colours. Give a bit of appetite. And now I'm going to add oyster sauce, I don't know, say 2 tablespoons. And now I'm adding the mushrooms. When I'm doing that, I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil. Don't put too much on, just a splurt. It's quite strong, but it gives that nice nutty flavour. Right, now I'm taking the bean sprouts, of which there's a lot here. There's half a bag of bean sprouts. And there's the noodles, which have been cut up. And now, go and tell me that doesn't look tasty. Right, you could put garlic in that if you wanted to. You could also put a bit of chili oil in that if you want it spicier. You could chop up a small chili, seeded or de-seeded, to give it a little bit of oomph. But for me, this will be enough. So just cooking through this now, trying to keep as crunchy as you can in the various and I think that I'm happy that that is now being cooked. And that is the end of the dish.